Hello there, welcome back for the last major part of Module 6. This is a really powerful exercise. This is about reviewing and releasing one of your own past lives, and it can be a very powerful, very enlightening exercise. You can certainly learn a lot about yourself and why you have certain preferences or tendencies or beliefs or attitudes when you start investigating and understanding your own past lifetimes. There's so much that can be said about this topic, so it is really important that you read your fun sheet and get the background in regards to what I've said there about past lifetimes. And of course there are chapters on this topic in my book You Are Clairvoyant. So, do more reading, do your research, but the key thing to understand about why we would want to investigate our own past lifetimes and do this healing process that we're about to do is to acknowledge that we have certain patterns, beliefs, fears and even blockages that keep following us around in this lifetime, holding you back maybe, frustrating you, causing you to attract the same kind of people or situations. Or in the case of some people, maybe they've got a blockage around relationships because in a previous lifetime they were a spinster or a nun or something like that. So it's really interesting how it shows up in the current lifetime. So the reason that we benefit from investigating our own past lifetimes is to clear those old patterns, to clear that old energy. And what also happens at the end of the process is the reintegrating of the positive energy, the positive memories from those lifetimes, or one lifetime at a time anyway. It's really important to remember that even if a past lifetime was relatively bad or negative from our perspective now, so say for instance, here I am living in Australia, I live in a very comfortable house, a very peaceful part of the world. So if I had a past lifetime where I was a child begging on the streets, of a big poor city like somewhere like, Calcutta in India or whatever, then I might look at that past lifetime and think, God, that was terrible. That was so sad. I was an abandoned kid on the streets begging. I had no food, no clothes, no home. But even a lifetime like that, which is really difficult and perhaps ended in a sad way, in that lifetime you would have had positive qualities and positive abilities. You may never have got to express them, never had the opportunity, maybe to go to school or to use the skills and talents that were inherent with you in that life. So for example, if I was a child begging on the streets in Calcutta 200 years ago, maybe I had a beautiful singing voice, maybe I was very intelligent, and if I'd got the chance to go to school I could have been a scientist or a doctor or something like that. So even if the positive qualities are unrealized in any given past lifetime, those will be returned to you and reintegrated at the end of this process. So it's a really complete holistic healing process. Have you ever wondered in this lifetime why you feel so strongly about certain things, why you feel a connection to certain people, why you keep attracting certain kind of people that sometimes you don't want to attract, or why it is that you feel a passion that you want to do something or go somewhere that can't be explained just from the way you've been brought up and the things that you've been grown up with. So it's very, very interesting, and I do encourage you to do some more reading on this topic. Of course, when people decide to have one-on-one readings with me, it's one of the big things that comes up in the reading. I see people's past lifetimes very clearly, like a full colour movie running in my head, and it's always fascinating. It's just, just a miraculous thing to be able to do. I absolutely love it, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Now, in this process, in this video, it's going to be necessary for you to pause and play and pause and play. Otherwise the video will just be too long. You don't need to be sitting and watching me at times when it's silent or when I need to be silent, and you'll probably have your eyes closed. concentrating on your journey anyhow. So just be prepared to pause and play this video to give yourself enough time to go through the steps. And I'll prompt you, I'll say it's a good idea to pause the video here, but remember to come back to our virtual classroom to carry on to the next step. I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. Another advantage, of course, with pausing and playing the video is that you can take the time you need. I'm not sort of making you fit into a timing to try and work for everybody, because there's no such thing as one size fits all when it comes to this. A classic example of that would be, of course, if you have a lifetime where you live till 90, then you might want to spend a lot more time finding out what happened in that long lifetime. Whereas if you had a lifetime when you died as a child or a young person, as a lot of people did back through the centuries, you know, the average life expectancy was only 35, 40, even in England through the Industrial Revolution and things like that. So it's amazing how young some people died. Obviously, it's going to take a lot more time to investigate a long life than it would a very short life and things like that. So that's why it's good to pause and play to give yourself the time that you need. I could talk for a very long time about this whole topic of past lives. It is very interesting. But the key thing is today that you're going to have a go at reviewing and releasing one of your own past lifetimes. Now, I really want you to get this when I say it's not about getting some fabulous, earth-shattering, perfect result this first time around. You will have this video forever. You can play it whenever you like. You can practice this as often as you want. If you choose to read You Are Clairvoyant, there's a couple of chapters about this very topic and the exercise written out for you step by step. There's also the same thing on the You Are Clairvoyant CD. But of course, you don't need to go and get those books and CDs if you don't want to. You'll have this video to work with as much as you like. This first time around, you may only get snippets of information. You may only get a feeling. You may get fleeting sense of what went on. I'm going to prompt you with suggestions of what to ask for and what to look for in each past lifetime. But you need to take your time and practice this with this one. A classic time to use this particular process is when you yourself have noticed, oh, this thing keeps happening in my life over and over. Every time I feel like I get ahead financially, something blows up and I need to spend all my savings. Or every time I get into a relationship, I feel really anxious and I'm just convinced that the person is going to leave me. Or every time I start a new job, there's somebody in that office who takes a dislike to me or makes things hard for me. Whatever the pattern is, when you notice it and you feel exasperated about it and you want to do something about it, that's when you say, okay, angels and guides, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to focus on this, I want to work with this process. Please show me if there's any past lifetimes connected with this pattern, because I'd really like to clear it. And I can certainly say that there have been some powerful realizations and clearings, both for myself and so many of my clients over the years, by doing just that. It's a kind of surrender, saying, okay, I don't know what else to do about it. I don't know what the answer to this is. I don't know how to change this. Please show me if there's a past life connected to this situation. Now, there isn't always, it's not always going to be that the answer to your issues or questions or beliefs or patterns are in a past lifetime, but it's definitely one of the things that is worth investigating. All right, I think I've said enough. Let's get on with it. Have your notebook and pen handy. You're going to need that at the end of the process. Make sure you've got a good 15 minutes or so to yourself to do this. And remember, you can practice this one over and over again if you like. Okay. So get yourselves nice and comfortable. And and just sit and relax. We've done our channel check-in. We're all ready to go. Your angels and guides are here to help you. And close your eyes and just start to picture all the colours of the rainbow, or all the colours of the chakras. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet, that really bright light violet. And imagine that you can be drawn into one of these colours. One of these colours is going to transport you back in time and place to one of your past lifetimes. You're thinking about your intention of reviewing and releasing one of your own past lifetimes. Just getting comfortable with that intention, getting firm with it, and allowing whichever of those 7 colours to come and envelop you, to come and surround you. You might feel like you're floating or swimming in one of those colours, or walking through it like a tunnel. Let yourself be drawn back in time through the colour that comes to you, or the colour that you prefer. Keep asking the energy to take you back to whichever of your past lifetimes is ready to be reviewed and released today. And even at this point, if any part of this instruction is going too quickly for you, feel free to pause, but make sure you come back to follow on to the next step. So you've visualized the 7 colours of the rainbow, or the 7 colours of the chakras. You've asked or intended one of these colours to come and surround you and start transporting you back to one of your past lives. Your intention is to return, not to have a regression, not to go in and experience all the ups and downs in a literal material way, but just to be shown it. Just to be able to view this past life. Now, gradually coming out through the other side of this colour, coming into this other place and time, like an observer stepping through a doorway or stepping out of one room into another. What can you see and sense around you in this other place and time? Hopefully you are a little baby or a young child, and this is part of the process. You actually intend the story to come to you in a chronological and logical fashion. So ask to get a sense of yourself as a baby or a young child. What are your surroundings like? Who else is there? Can you sense a mother or a father? Can you sense what your home or your environment is like? Is it a beautiful house? Are you in a cot or a crib with nice linen? Are you on a bed of straw? Are you strapped to somebody's back like a little papoose? What's your environment like? What can you see on your inner screen? What do you feel? Now stepping it forward a few years, coming up through the toddler years, are you a boy or a girl? You may have already sensed that, but let's ask. Are you a boy or a girl? Do you have any brothers or sisters? What sort of clothes are you wearing? Keep looking at your environment, the home, the surrounding region. Ask for whatever information you want and also go with my prompts. Do you seem healthy and happy? Are you well fed, thin? What's your condition like? Coming up past the age of 5 now, 6 or 7. How are you growing up? Are you working hard? Are you going to school? What's your community like beyond your family? Do you get a sense of what your people or your tribe are like? Coming up to the age of 10 now, or around that age. How are you feeling about your life? Do you have friends? Are you physically active? Can you read and write? What's going on in your country, your place, your location? What part of the world is this that you are living in and growing up in? Do you get a sense of what country it is or what region? What's the climate like? Do you get a sense of what year or what century it is? Maybe there's already electricity. Maybe it's the Stone Age. Maybe it's medieval time. Ask. Be curious. Keep inquiring about all of these details. Coming up through your teens now. Are you still at home? Is there talk of you being married? What are you doing for work, or what are your plans for your life? Are you still in the same region? Are your family nomadic or semi-nomadic? Or have you moved to another place with them or by yourself? We also would like to inquire why we are being shown this particular past life. You'd like to know, is there a lesson here? Is there something that really needs to be resolved? And as part of our process, as we progress up through the years, you're coming up to the age of around 20 now. What are you doing with your life? Are you happy? Are you healthy? Are you married? Do you have children? If you're still not sure, ask, where am I? What country is this? What time period is this? What are your beliefs? Do you belong to a religion? Do you go to church or temple? What are your evolving skills and abilities? Maybe you're athletic and you love to be out in the open. Maybe you're intellectual and you want to write or study. Maybe you were put in a monastery or a convent or went there willingly. Maybe you're a soldier and you've gone into one of the many wars that have happened on this planet over the centuries. Keep investigating who you are, what you're doing, what are you eating, what do you enjoy, do you have pets or working animals, who are your friends, who do you spend time with. Coming up through the 20s now, towards the age of 30. And this is where I would really encourage you to pause the video in a moment and keep asking for more information about the years that we've already gone through and about the years ahead, depending on how long your particular lifetime is going to continue for. Stay with your concentration, stay in this process until you feel like you have discovered everything you can about this lifetime. You can, of course, ask, how you died, how long you lived for, how you died, and keep inquiring as to the nature of why you're being shown this particular past life. You may already have a strong sense of that. So pause the video now and keep exploring for more and more details about this life. Okay, welcome back. Now, I know you've done your best. You've found out everything you possibly can about that lifetime. And that's enough for today. That's enough for this first attempt, whatever details you could get. Now you're going to ask your angels and spirit guides to come in around you and to take everything from that past lifetime that you don't need anymore, anything heavy, negative, sad, traumatic, anything that's holding you back in this lifetime, anything unresolved, and ask them to take all that heavy negative energy completely to the light, to let it be transformed and healed. That's what your angels and guides will do for you now. And some of you might get a sense of like uplift, sort of a whooshing sensation, like a flow of rich energy and light flowing up to the cosmos. You might see or feel your angels and guides assisting with that. And then also ask them to return and reintegrate the positive energies and memories, skills, talents, personality traits. Just ask them to bring all the positives back and reintegrate that into your energy field. And often when I see that positive energy returning to me, it feels like a flow or a stream of beautiful energy coming back into my heart chakra. So just let the positive energy be returned to you as the so-called negative or heavy or unresolved energy is released to the light. Now thank your angels and guides for helping with that step of the process. Acknowledge them and then ask for the same colour that transported you to this experience to come and bring you back to the present time, or it may be a different colour. If a different colour is your vehicle for coming back to the now, that's fine. So let the colour come and envelop you again, whether it's the same colour as before or a different colour. Let yourself be wrapped in that colour, transported by that colour, and coming back to the present life, the present day, the present time, coming all the way back to the now, to the present moment, back into your physical awareness. And really acknowledge yourself for going on this journey, understanding that it is a process that you can refine and build on with time, with practice and with time. Then again, asking your angels and spirit guides to wrap you in a beautiful cocoon of energy and light. Whatever colour comes through is completely fine. And when you're ready, wriggle your fingers and toes, give your shoulders a stretch, take a deep breath and open your eyes. That's fantastic. Good for you. Now, what's very important now is to write down everything that you remember from the past life vision that came to you, the past life feelings and experiences that came to you. Even if they seem like very trivial details, write everything down. Write down everything you can remember before you go and do anything else, because it's incredible how easy it is to forget these details. So pause the video here, take as much time as you need to write down whatever it is you can remember and everything you can remember about that past life experience, even the tiniest snippets. Please make a note of them and then come back to complete this. Okay, welcome back. I hope you've really taken some time to write down all of that detail. Now, there are a number of things that can happen. For instance, at times, two past lives might be coming through to be cleared at the same time. So you might get a feeling that you're receiving information that doesn't really work together. Suddenly you'll see yourself as a man in a certain time period and then a woman in a different time period or whatever. When you feel like you are possibly getting glimpses of information or feelings from two different past lifetimes, just keep asking your angels and guides to show you the one that needs to be cleared the most, or to show you the one that's most relevant to your situation and concerns at this time. It's not that frequent that this happens, but it does come up, so I thought I would like to mention it. You need to remember that you're the one with sort of the remote control, if you like. So if you were watching a movie at home and you've got the DVD in the machine and you've got the remote control, you can fast forward it, you can reverse it, you can pause, you can play. And it's a bit like that after a while as you get used to viewing your own past lifetimes. And it's not like there's hundreds and hundreds of them that you're going to have to look at, but there's usually maybe 3, 4 or even 5 really key ones that have informed the way you live in this lifetime. But as you're watching on your inner screen, you're witnessing this past lifetime, if it seems to be a bit disjointed, or if it begins right in the middle of the life when you're already a grown-up, just get your little cosmic remote and say, okay, angels and guides, I need to see this life from the beginning. I need to see it in a logical order, and keep insisting on that. And after a while, the process becomes more smooth and streamlined. It is one of the most complex things that we do in this course, probably the most complex thing, I have to say. So please don't be hard on yourself and think, well, I didn't get much, or I'm not sure about this. Your monkey mind likes to go crazy on this one and say, well, I must have been imagining this, or I'm just making it up, and this is all just make-believe. Practice, trust, tune in to what's going on. Remember that it's not all going to be just visual either. You will get a feeling, oh, I feel like I'm in France, or I feel like this is 400 years ago. Listen to those prompts. You might get a thought or a knowing rather than lots of visuals initially. For me, this was very sporadic and tiny bits and pieces in the beginning. So by no means, did I start out 18 years ago suddenly seeing, great long movie vistas of people's past lives. It was bits and pieces. I certainly didn't know how to explain what was going on. So if this appeals to you, I encourage you to keep practicing with it more. But also, please don't get frustrated with yourself. Go back and ask for more information, review it, take the time, read the chapters, do the notes of what came through for you. Talk to your angels and guides about it. It's really worth being able to investigate your own past lifetimes when there's a moment in your current lifetime where you feel that you've tried everything else. It could be the big breakthrough that you're looking for. Okay, you might want to go away and make even more notes now. That's enough for one module. That's a biggie. And I'm really proud of you and really excited for you. And I look forward to seeing you in Module 7. Thank you so much for working with me today. Blessings to you, namaste, and see you in our final module next week. Bye-bye.